Think for yourself. Question authority.
When you met Justin after Paul, it must have just seemed like, oh my God, how could this be any better?
Yeah, I know I felt like we traded up, that was great.
Well, I
And
mean,
when we lost Paul, I was like, oh my God, I just couldn't imagine it ever being the same or as good or something, and then we hit it off. We were good friends as Justin's band Peach had opened up for us when we toured in Europe. So we knew we got along. He rode the bus with us and stuff because we got along so well and all that. And I didn't know if it would work out in the musical way, but it really did, and more. Yeah, cool.
he loves the wall basses, right?
Yeah, he had a Stingray when he first joined the band, and I think when we were recording, the Anima record, I think it wasn't consistent all the way up and down the neck. Like when he'd play his high parts, it would sort of lose power and volume or something. So he borrowed God, who was it? Greg Andrews, the bass player from Failure. I don't know if you remember that band Failure, man. He borrowed his wall and he just fell in love with it, and that was all it took. Now Justin became hooked to walls, and the guy that makes him's English also, so Justin had a good rapport with him, and it's been a good relationship as far as I know. I lived up in some little guest house up in Laurel Canyon for a while, kind of like a little garagey thing, and that was beautiful. It was kind of a nice way to break into the Hollywood vibe, because no matter how the chaos down below on the streets, you could go up there. It was just like serene, up on Lookout Mountain Avenue. And then I was there, and then they I think the landlord sold the house or something, and we all had to bail. And I went down the exact opposite. I was like at Pico and La Brea down in the ghetto. that was pretty gnarly, but I spent $300 a month for like a 2,000 or 3,000 square foot warehouse, and I could just play day and night. No one cared. So that was invaluable, just to be able to shed and then also jam with people, like I said, that I found through lawn ads or whatever. And then I think I was there for probably another 6 months or something. And then I moved in with a guy named Robert Williams for a little while over in the Valley. He was right down the street from you. Actually, it was like, oh God, what was that? Camarillo and Lancashire or something like that. It was pretty close by there. And he was the drummer for Captain Beefheart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, played on Dock at the radar station. Yeah. I think Ice Cream for Crow too he played on. But those are great records. But anyway, he went on the road or something, then I had to bail. And then that was after that I found that place down, or found the Loft,
The secret place.
Yeah. It's kind of a resonant, cool spot. Cecil B. DeMille had his movie studio there, like through the movies and stuff. Yeah, so everything he did was gold, and like everything we've done there is gold.
I did not know that. You mean just that whole building, or just that?
Yeah, that whole thing was his studios. The Loft that I'm in actually was his horse stable. They told me. That's why it had those double doors in the back, and there's drains on the floor. They'd like wash them off. Then after they went up into the hills shooting westerns or whatever, back in the day. Yeah. I think it had to have some play, because every song we've written has been written in that room.
Yeah,
and that definitely is part of our sound. It's hard for me to imagine not having that place.
Yeah.
So it's difficult. We still don't own it, because you have to buy that entire part of that block or something, but I don't know. I'm trying to talk the guys into going together as a band, and
oh yeah,
lords or something like that. But it would be devastating not to have that space for me anyway, because I moved in there in 1989, so that's been a long time.
A lot of the prices on these older synths are just seemingly never going to stop going up.
Man, it's just mind-boggling to me. It seems, I'm glad I got into it when I did. I would never have been able to afford it, or I wouldn't have been that extravagant on it. But I got a new one here, man. I just got.
Oh, what is that? Show and tell.
It's kind of hard to see.
Phoenix.
It's a Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix Modular. Those things.
It's the Phoenix one. I had the Phoenix 2 from that guy that was down the street from you, and I got this one just recently from got a guy back in Chicago, and I was really stoked to find it. It's a lot different than the two. I was surprised how different they sound, but supposedly this one might have been Richard James, like Apex's or something. He had some kind of letter from him or something that mentioned that, he said, but I don't know. Who knows? He probably has so much stuff.
On the new tour, you're performing Chocolate Chip Trip with a modular, and
I have like effects like some make noise stuff, and those some more effective things like flangers and delays and samplers and things like that. But it's a lot of fun. I love doing that during the show, just because I never really quite know what's going to happen. It's just like that's the source of uncertainty.
Yeah. So how much does that track vary per night?
It's I don't know how to say how much it would vary, but I mean, the framework is usually pretty consistent. Like I'll start off maybe on my own and then turn on the machine and then maybe finish on with just drums or something. But just for variety's sake, I'll vary the tempo and stuff. And I'm going to try to do it with a lot of different time signatures. I think on this next run, I had it in 7 pretty much the whole time. This last run we've been doing, so I'm going to try to mix it up with some 11s and things, because I got a more sophisticated sequencer now, so I can go into a few different polyrhythms and things with it, so that might make it more interesting. But it'll be something I can develop over this downtime, I guess. I'm trying to think of the name of the thing now. It's got the 3 dials, and it does the most insane polyrhythms. But it's a lot of fun. That thing seems endless, the possibilities, because it's you can put any time over another time in it, and then it goes crazy. It's a German guy made it. I can't think of his name now, but it's a beauty. Yeah, I love it.
The other thing you had your hand in on designing equipment was, did you work with Vince DeFranco on the mandala drum, right?
Yeah, it's my triggering interface. I used a Simmons XDX or SDX, like that was the sampling one, like It was great when the band just started taking off. The grunge thing had happened and all that, and just electronic drums it's totally uncool. So God, these things were like $20,000 when they're new, and I bought mine for like $1,200 or something.
Nice.
Everybody was just unloading them, man. So it was incredible, man.
Great era.
And they were the first ones that the actual pad surface could tell where you hit on the pad, besides just how hard you hit or how soft. It also had zone intelligence, so you could, and it was based on MIDI, so like 1 to 127 from the edge to the rim, so you could make it pan as you went to the middle or make the pitch change and all that. And then that thing became so archaic or just old and just not very roadworthy. So I just went to Vince and go, hey man, can you make something that will emulate this or do this with function on this level? And no one else had done it. Yamaha, Roland, none of the other companies ever did that. So I had to have Vince do this for me, and he improved upon it, and the pads are more playable and all this, but he was invaluable, man. That's my baby. I mean, that is what gives rise to, all my crazy drumming African ideas and stuff like that when I'm doing all the tool things. And it's limitless just because I just run battery, through that, so I can just drop in samples anytime and
interesting.
Keep developing. I just have a patch for each song now. So, and while we're writing, I just think, oh, this sound, I can just pull it off my hard drive and throw them into this pad and make it really playable. And it gives it a little more personality too, just to make it where it's not the same every hit, because of that playing surfaces like that. And it emulates real drums pretty cool, or African drums, and I don't have to carry around a million different ethnic instruments, which is nice. Yeah, I'm with Vic Firth. They have I can kind of show you mine now. It's I don't know if you can see it on here or not. It goes in a little bit instead of out. Yeah, there's like a little groove. It's kind of hard to identify.
Oh, I can see it. That looks nice.
but it kind of gives you the same advantage, like when your hands get sweaty and stuff. At least there's something to hang on to. And
Yeah.
I kind of went to them. I said, "Hey, can you do the True Line thing?" And they said, "Well, it's kind of wasteful, you know, being." An eco-friendly company. I can, because the biggest part, they have to make the stick that big,
Yeah.
that big,
Waste.
and this way the biggest part is the butt of it. And it, I thought, well, I'll give it a go, and I didn't have much faith in it, but it was really cool because by taking away down here instead of adding on, it kind of transferred more weight out into the front of the stick. So it's
Oh, that's interesting.
a
We'll have to try one of those.
It felt good. I didn't expect that at all. It was kind of I stumbled on it just from experimentation. But
After witnessing like the show here at Staples, you were on fire that night. I swear, I tried to
those were good shows. That was a good time. We were far enough into the tour that we started really developing the songs, like feeling real confident about them, but it still was sort of fresh. There's that fine line before you're kind of bored, playing old songs or whatever. But that was exciting. Those were, and just to be at the homecoming show, and have all my friends there, like you included, that was pretty special.
Did it feel that way though when you were playing it? Was it like, oh my God, this is a good night?
There's so much concentration. You kind of feel it when you walk off. You go, wow, that was no train wrecks.